So today's video actually was one that I just read and I stopped everything for. I feel like it's prevalent in today's society, being in toxic relationships and can't, or feel like you can't get out of. So this video is going to be about self-love and getting out of toxic relationships. So the first thing I like to say is that you first have to make that decision. You have to decide. Once you decide, then you can move forward. You can't straddle the fence and one day feel like I'm going to leave him, I'm going to leave her, or even it's a family member, family relationship, work relationships. They all can be toxic, right? But in this sense, I know this is related to more of a relationship, a romantic relationship. So I'm going to focus more on that. So once you decide, you can't look back. You have to stay focused on the goal. And the goal is to be happy and to love yourself. So although when you think of self-love and self-care, they don't always go with getting out of a toxic relationship, but they kind of work hand in hand. This is the way it works. First thing you have to do is make the choice. You make the choice of doing better and being with someone better. It's just weird how the world works. When you decide to have something better for yourself, and this may seem like hogwash to a lot of people, but when you want better and you decide that's what you deserve and you know you're worthy of that, the universe will work for you. However you believe, that's what I believe. I believe that the universe conspires to make sure you have that, but you have to make the choice and put in the effort to get those results, right? So first and foremost, you have to love yourself in a sense. You don't accept what you don't want, how you don't want to be treated. Use an example of how people should treat you. If you love yourself, you respect yourself, you don't accept or expect certain things or from people, then they won't give that to you because they're like, hey, this person doesn't won't take that from me. Okay, so they're not going to give that to you. You set your boundaries. So you're like, how do I get there? How do I get to this point where I know I don't deserve this? So you're like, well, how do I get there? How do I get to this point where I no longer accept this toxic relationship, this abuse, or whatever it is that you're going through? How do I feel this way? You feed yourself. You feed yourself. You feed your mind and your heart, and you tell yourself, I'm worthy. You tell yourself, I'm unstoppable. I can't let anything stop me. I'm going to have the life that I want. You tell yourself that you deserve better, and you tell yourself this all the time, even the times when you doubt it. You tell yourself, because eventually the more you hear it, even if it's from yourself, the more you believe it. It works the same way when you feed yourself negative. If you feed yourself negativity and you hear all these things, I'm not worthy, it's the best that I can get, you're going to believe it. And that person is going to continually treat you that way. So you make sure that you're feeding yourself all this self-love and all these positive words, okay? And you'll start to believe it. Even if you don't believe it right now, you will start to believe it. And that type of confidence and that type of love exudes. Have you ever seen someone that may not be what you would consider the most attractive person, but something about them is just like, wow, that person gets my respect, that person gets my attention. You might even be attracted to that person. It's because that person loved themselves, and that love that radiates, okay? So you need to have that exuding out of you, and this will bring in the right person for you. But you have to remove the negative. You have to remove what doesn't belong in your life so you can get and attract what you do. Another thing that I feel is important, and especially for someone that's struggling on getting out of a toxic relationship, think about the people around you, because you're also setting an example to them what's acceptable. For me, and I've been in the situation, I understand being in a toxic relationship and how to get out of it, because I've been there, right? So for me, it's my daughter, it's my children, and the relationship I'm in, they're gonna say that's okay. If mom accepts that, then that's okay for me to accept. If I'm with an abusive man, then my daughter's gonna feel like it's okay. I've seen that all my life. I'm not gonna let that happen, right? My sons, if they see that, they're gonna say that's how you treat a woman. I'm not gonna let that happen. So it's the same thing. Think about people that care about you, or people that you care about. And do you want to set that example that this is okay when you know it's not? So you can use that as also a tool to know, okay, I'm slipping these days. I feel lonely. I want to be loved, or this pseudo love, because that's what it is. It's not real love if someone's treating you negatively, feeding you this bad energy. So you make sure you're like, hey, I'm not going to do that, because I'm leading by example. Okay, so, and I'm telling you, even though this seems like so hard to do, the more you do it with anything, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And then one day you're gonna look back and you're gonna feel like, I can't believe I let myself go through that. And then that's a day that you may be like, what the heck? But at the same time, you'll be so proud of yourself, and you will not go back to those type of situations. It's like with anything, it's something you have to do repetitively. Another thing to get out of those type of relationships, or if you're heartbroken, is to keep yourself occupied with things that make you feel happy. So instead of spending time with someone that you know is not good for you, that's not feeding your soul, find something to do. Even if it's not being with another person, but do something for yourself, and join a club, get a hobby, do something. Even if it's just you going for long drives all the time and listening to some feel-good music. I do that often just to have a good day, you know? So there's different things and ways that you can feed yourself love and positive vibes. It's a lot about raising your vibration and feeling good. And when you're in a good mood, it's easier for you to say no to stuff that doesn't make you feel good, that doesn't go along with your plan, and your plan is to be happy, right? So you constantly focus on being positive, being happy, and the things that don't go along with that, it eventually will leave out of your life. Sometimes you have to put more of an effort and leave it there, but it'll eventually find its way out. So taking time for yourself, putting focus and feeding yourself good thoughts, surrounding yourself around people that make you feel good, those are things to do for your self-love. I'm trying to keep it as short as possible because I can talk about this for hours on end. If there's something you feel like you have more of questions about, or you want me to touch base more on, just leave a comment, or you can send me another DM and I'll make another video to break it down a little bit more. And there's, like I said, there's so many other things you could do. We have a video about how I balance life and work and how I have that time for myself. So you can check that out and actually try to apply some of those, see if those will work for you. They may not, but it works for me. I use those on an everyday basis. So you can try and check that out. So the main things are, first you have to decide that you're not gonna accept it anymore and that you're gonna love yourself. And then secondly, once you decide that, stick to it. Don't go back, don't look back. And start on you, work on you, and feed yourself good, positive words every day until you know it, until you feel it to your core, okay? And thirdly, remember, you're setting an example of how you want to be treated. You want to be treated nice, you want to be loved, so love yourself, okay? So I hope this helps. If not, please reach out and I'll make another video. Okay, until later, bye.